I don't have a lot of skill when it comes to texturing. For too long, I've just slapped an image around my objects and called it a day. But my work started to improve slightly when I discovered Ambient Occlusion. This is mainly used to simulate soft shadow when objects get too close to one another. So if I add it to this mesh and exaggerate it with a color ramp, you can see that it's getting darker where there are creases or enclosed areas. It's already looking a little more interesting with this applied. And what I like is I can keep modeling and the effect is added on the fly. If we connect this to the factor on a mix node, we can drive the dark areas to display one color and the bright areas to display another. And again, you can see that it's already looking more interesting when this effect is applied. You can use this to drive other features as well, such as making some areas shiny whilst giving the creases a matte look. And if I replace these two colors with two different image textures instead, you can get this nice rusty effect on an otherwise shiny metal texture. But going back to what this effect is normally used for, if an object gets too close, then the ambient occlusion kicks in and we start to see rust grow around it. So how do we stop this? Create a new image texture and give it a name. Flick over to Cycles if you're not in it already. And on the Materials tab, head down to Bake. Lots of fun options to play with here, but we'll stick with Ambient Occlusion for now. Click Bake and then wait longer than you might expect. And eventually you'll be greeted with a new texture of your Ambient Occlusion map. Save this texture before you close Blender and lose it forever. Delete your old procedural Ambient Occlusion node and replace it with your new baked version. The effect will remain the same, and now nothing will ruin it if it gets close. And as it's being driven by an image, you can literally draw new dark bits and light bits to drive where the rust appears. If you're a better artist than me, then you can just draw everything from scratch in the first place. But I much prefer to enhance an automatically generated base texture. And for the love of God, don't forget to save this texture when you finish drawing on it, before you close Blender and lose it again forever. But I've not told you what I mostly use ambient occlusion maps for. I like to bake them out when I finish modeling and texturing my characters, and then if I just add it to my texture with a multiply map, and duplicate that a couple of times, you can see that it really enhances the mesh detail. It's really made the world of difference to my character textures.